Bust out those calculators, it's time to do some math in Fortnite. Hey, what's going on guys? My name is Girlcat, back with another video, and today we are starting a new series called Burning Questions. In the series, I will answer any burning questions you or I have about video games. Before we get ahead with this episode, however, I want to credit MatPat, better known as Game Theory, for being an inspiration to my idea. He is the original creator of videos such as these, and I highly recommend that you go over to his channel. It'll be linked in the description, and watch his videos. So, one day I was thinking to myself, how fast do you run in Fortnite? I did some research and nothing came up, so I decided to figure it out on my own. We're going to be finding out how fast your Fortnite character runs, as well as how fast they travel in the different methods of transportation. To do this, we're going to go back to that simple equation you learned back in 6th grade science class. Speed equals distance divided by time. Seems simple enough at first, until you realize that you don't have any gateway on how tall things are in Fortnite. How are we supposed to find distance then? Well, we're going to need a reference. What I need to find is how long one structure? Build? What do you call it? Anyway, what I need to find is how long one thing you put down is. To do this, we're going to use Fortnite's shopping cart as a reference. After researching, I found that the average length for your typical grocery cart is approximately 32 inches, or 0.8128 meters. Using this information, we can determine the length of the structure thing by placing down grocery carts in a row. This took me a while because you have to be super delicate with the carts, otherwise they start flying around like maniacs. After placing the carts in a row, you see that we have 4 carts and then part of a 5th one. This, however, will be easy enough to calculate the length of, as we can use the bars on the cart as a reference. There are 6 bars, and it seems as though this 4th one just about directly lines up with the end of the structure underneath it. By taking some simple calculations, I divided 32 inches by 5, as there are 5 holes, and found that each hole is approximately 6.4 inches long. Multiply that by 3, and you get 19.2 inches, which is the length of the cart on the structure. Now we can find the length of the structure. All we have to do is take 32 inches multiplied by 4 carts, add 19.2 inches, and we end out with a whopping 147.2 inches. By converting this to meters, we get 3.73888 meters. This size actually makes sense compared to everything around it, so I applaud you, Fortnite. Now that we've found the length of one structure, I'm going to create a small course that our character will run across in order to measure time. This course is only going to consist of 7 structures, making it a length of 26.17216 meters. Now that we have the distance part of the equation, we have to head on to time. Time is going to be a lot easier to calculate, as all we have to do is run across the course and record it. After recording it, we have to count how many frames it took to get from start to finish, and then multiply that number by 1 divided by the frames per second. In this case, the frames per second is 60, so we just have to count how many frames it takes for our character to reach the end of the course. Our first trial is with our character walking the course. This travel is equal to 550 frames. By taking that number and multiplying it by 1 divided by 60, we get 9.16 seconds. By taking 26.17216 meters and dividing it by 9.16 seconds, we get 2.857 meters per second, which is equal to 6.39 miles per hour. Next, our character is running. I'll speed this up so you guys don't have to go through all the boring math. The character runs the whole course in 418 frames, which is equal to 6.96 seconds. By placing our numbers into the equation, we get that the character is running at a speed of 3.76 meters per second, or 8.41 miles per hour. Next up is walking with a shopping cart. This takes 872 frames, which is 14.53 seconds. Overall, that's a low speed of 1.8 meters per second, or 4 miles per hour. Now, let's run with the shopping cart. This is 668 frames. By this, we can tell that running with a shopping cart is a lot less efficient than walking. Kinda crazy, right? This takes 11.13 seconds. This means our character is going at 2.35 meters per second, or 5.25 miles per hour. Next, we have our infamous ATK, or golf cart, as some call it. This cart goes at an amazing 428 frames, just shy of losing to our character running. This takes 7.13 seconds, making our speed 3.67 meters per second, or 8.2 miles per hour. Now we're going to go fast with our ATK, making our frames 413, just barely beating our running speed. Taking 6.88 seconds, we reach a speed of 3.8 meters per second, or 8.5 miles per hour. Finally, onto the fastest vehicle in Fortnite, the Quad Crasher. This behemoth clocks in with a... 407 frames, still making it the fastest competitor so far, with a time of 6.78 seconds and a speed of 3.86 meters per second, or 8.63 miles per hour. Lastly, we are calculating the speed of this monster when boosted. This thing goes at 401 frames, definitely beating our previous competitors with an outstanding 6.68 seconds, causing speeds of 3.91 meters per second, or 8.74 miles per hour. There you have it, folks. The ranking of the fastest transportation in Fortnite. This ranking to me makes quite a bit of sense, and I will admit that if my course were longer, the speeds would definitely be different. However, from this we can conclude that walking with a shopping cart is the lowest speed of 1.8 meters per second, and boosting with the quad crasher causes the highest speed of 3.91 meters per second. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know by hitting that like button and subscribing, and I will consider making more of these in the future as I begin to ask more questions about games. I'll see you guys in the next video, so bye bye.